Good afternoon, friends. Welcome back to day 2 of our mental wellness in May support as we go through all these different topics. And today I wanted to talk to you about the Stim. Now, a few disclaimers. One, I'm not a mental health professional, but I am a functional medicine physician, and the majority of the clients that I work with have some mental health concern, whether it be anxiety, panic, depression, insomnia, all of the above, pain management, neuroplastic pain, all of these things. So I work with people every day on these topics. The other thing that I do want to say right now, I'm not financially tied to Stim, so I'm not getting any compensation for this or anything. This is my personal review of this product. And as you can tell, maybe you can't tell because maybe you haven't seen this little machine before. This is about 15 years old. This is an old original Stim that is extremely simple. The ones that are out now are beautiful, and there's an app and it's wonderful. However, the technology is the same, the way it works is the same, and you can use whatever machine that you have available for this. So what is the Stim? Let's go over the how to use it first. It is FDA cleared for pain management. So if you were going to use it for pain management, it would have pads instead of the little clippies, and you can put it where the area of pain is, somewhat similar to a TENS unit, but more focused on electrical current. If you're using it for mood management, you have these little ear clippies, and it comes with, oh gosh, this is really old. You're like, wow, Alison, that bottle hasn't existed in forever. Anyways, this is a conducting solution. You can add just a little bit. If you see, look real close, there's little pads that are removable, so that way you can interchange them out, take them off to make sure this stays clean. And once that solution is on, you just clip it onto your earlobes like this on each side. And I'm not going to turn it on right now, because I don't know if the interference of the Stim will affect my ear pods or whatever. But anyways, that's all you have to do, and then you sit back and relax. My settings, the way mine works, it has a 1 hour, that's the 1 hour button, says 59, and then there's a 20-minute setting as well, and then you can just mess with it that way, and then if you hit it again, it turns off. This is very old school. It has a dial on it, so you can just increase the intensity as you go up. So when you have this on your ears and it's actually working, what you want to feel, honestly, is nothing. And when you turn it up too high, you'll feel kind of like the electrical sparks. It'll feel tingly. You might feel dizzy and woozy. So if you use this, it's something you want to keep at a level that's comfortable. You don't want to feel like you're going to pass out. This is not the stronger the electricity running through my brain, the better I feel. It's definitely something that you want to feel on a lighter level. Now, like I said, this is FDA cleared for pain, depression, anxiety, and insomnia. It's super safe. Obviously, it's non-invasive. And when I bought this 15 years ago in my chiropractic office, I was really focused in on working with veterans and working with people who have TBIs. So this is great to help support those people who have had some type of brain injury, whether it be a physical, typically, right, or even emotional traumas as well. And what it does is it does a few things, and I'm going to tell you how it works, and then I'm going to give you my personal experience and my recommendations too. What I love about when I look at their website, they kind of go, we don't know how this works, but it works. So we know that it works. We have the studies. They have the studies. There's lots of publications that have been done on the mental emotional state of this. They call it neuromodulation. So essentially they're using electricity at 0.5 hertz, so very low electrical signals, to change the chemical and electrical signals in our brain. They say it fine-tunes the nerve cells, and it puts you into an alpha state. So we have all these different brain waves. We have alpha, delta, beta, and so when we're in that alpha state, we are more focused, more calm. I've heard just anecdotal that people like on TikTok or social media are saying that's helped them with ADHD and focus, and that when their mind's just running crazy, it kind of helps them shift channels so they're just focused, more centered, more calm, and that's wonderful. They say that it works on the brainstem specifically, and it works on the serotonergic, cholinergic, and noradrenergic systems, meaning basically all of our neurotransmitters. So one, we have the electricity, which is a huge part of our brain. Our brain is electric. Our body is electric. It's just, the science on this is so cool. Now, we have this old school model. Oh goodness, are you ready? This is horrible. My drawings, right? Okay, so we have this old school model, and this is what I was shown. Maybe, can you see this, right? So say this is our brain cell in our neuron in our brain, and it goes down this line, it sends out serotonin, and then we have the space where this nerve cell is supposed to pick up the serotonin and put it down and put it down. So if you have depression, you're either not making enough serotonin, the serotonin's not living in this area long enough, this nerve can't pick it up, and we have this whole serotonin hypothesis. Now it's 2023, and we now know that most of, if not all of, the pharmaceutical companies that created this hypothesis basically made up all the data. It's not necessarily a good hypothesis. Now, if your medication working and you're taking an antidepressant and you're like, but Alison, my SSRIs are working, awesome, that's amazing. That don't stop. There's no shame in taking medication. I always appreciated what medication can do for our emotional and physical state. Take it if you need it, if it helps, that's wonderful, that's amazing. But the way it's working might not be what we think it is. And so as I read the book, We Are Electric, and I started thinking about the alpha stim and pain and how our body works, I started being curious if our bioelectrical systems, our electrome is what it's called, kind of like our microbiome in our gut with our bacteria, but we have an electrome with this way our electricity runs through our body and how our nerves use electricity. And this research on using electricity for pain, immune regulation, mood, sleep, all of these things. Now, I'm not talking about electric shock therapy. I'm not talking about old school methods where you hold somebody down and you shock the shit out of them. That's not good either. We're not talking about that. Like, the alpha stim is non-invasive. It does not hurt. Unless you're turning it up so high that you're shocking yourself, don't do that, okay? But what I am curious about, and this is my personal thoughts as someone who's enjoying the research and loves tech and also loves finding things for people to use, right? So this is horrible, and I'm so sorry. Maybe if I can go back and edit this, I will, and I'll actually put a real picture up. But AP stands for action potential. So all of our nerves run on this action potential. It's actually our nerves and our cells sit at a negative 70. So when a message comes through these neurons in our brain, the electricity jumps up, and then it comes down, and then it goes back into balance. So this wave has to go through each part of the cell, this action potential, all to get to the end of the cell for this information to be communicated across. Now, what we're learning with the electrome and with the amazing pioneering scientists who are willing to stand up and go, hey, hold on, we're not looking at this, because right now and for the past 200 years, electricity in research and in biology and science has been dismissed. It's not popular, it's not political, nobody wants to put money towards it, even though it's really cool when you look at it. It's kind of like, nobody wants to put money into it. And besides, unless you're implanting something in the brain, how are we affecting the brain with electricity without like shocking someone with a cattle prod? Well, we have the alpha stim and we have the Healy. So I'm going to talk about the Healy in a different video, which is more frequency based. But if you think about it, our action potential, so if this wave, right, is coming through our neuron and it's trying to send serotonin down and be like, hey, we're happy, hey, we need to go to sleep. Hey, we need to relax. Hey, we need to focus. But something in that neuron shuts off. Maybe because all these cells are surrounded by the immune system, by glial cells, by all kinds of things. What about the myelin sheath? What if there's not enough fat? What if there's toxic fat? What if there's strep? What if you have pandas? What if you have Epstein-Barr? What if you have trauma? And then this last little message doesn't come through. That, oh my gosh, we're just blocked off. And we're going, oh, we got to force serotonin down. We got to force cholinergic systems. We got to talk about neurotransmitters. But it's actually coming from this action potential, not fixing the wave all the way down. And this is why I think electric therapy, working on the electrum, figuring out the science between the frequency, the hertz, the voltage, all of those things need to come together as a science to help people. Our bodies are electric. They are amazing. So this is actually, if I had to guess why the alpha stim works, is because it raises the state. It helps soothe and remove these blockages within our neurons so this action potential can fire all the way down. And then, of course, at the end, the serotonin is going to start working, and dopamine and GABA and all those other things. Inflammation is going to go down because instead of the body fighting, it's going to be healing. It's going to be resetting this electrum. Instead of maybe this action potential, the resting potential might be too high, it might be too low. And this is what they're talking about with neuromodulation, is making sure that every cell is sitting at that right resting potential. The action potential is that spike. And what's interesting is that every tissue has its own resting potential. Our bones, our muscles, everything's different. So in studying these things, we're seeing that, how are we formed is the question. So egg and sperm come together, and we used to go, well, genetics, right? Or genetics tell us what to go where, right? But actually it doesn't. It can determine our hair color, the color of our eyes, the color of our skin, things like that. But what tells our body to go right, what and left? And when they've used magnets or electricity, they see that things shift within the formation of the body. So these potentials within our nerves and our cells and every part of our body, especially with pain management, anxiety, insomnia, depression, are incredibly important. And what a really simple thing to do, and just help yourself. Now, my experience with the alpha stim, the first few times I used it, I didn't notice anything. I would say, I don't know if I was in a good mood. Maybe it made me feel a little manic. I remember like the second time I used it on a Saturday, and I was just fresh out of chiropractic school, just had bought my practice, and I went to Starbucks with a friend, and I found this girl outside. She was studying for what I knew was Part 3 boards from Logan. I was like, oh my god, you're going to Logan! And I like totally talked her ear off, and I was an extrovert, and I was like, ooh, Alison acts a little crazy. But after that, I feel like I didn't see any major shifts in my sleep. Now, after I read We Are Electric, I was talking about it with my friends, and she's like, oh, I have this alpha stim, but she has the new one, and she's saying it's amazing. I started using it again, so I've been using it an hour every single day. But I can't sit here and say, wow, I've noticed huge changes in my sleep. Yes, I have anxiety. I haven't noticed any changes in my anxiety. Right now, I'm not struggling with depression, so I can't say that I have noticed any changes in my mood on that part either. So I'm kind of like, if it works for you, that's awesome. And I did see someone recommend that, if you have a therapist or someone like me that you work with in person, and they have the option to rent an alpha stim out, I would strongly recommend that. I thought that was a fabulous idea. And that way you're not spending, I don't remember what I paid for this, to be honest, because it was 15 years ago. And I just let my patients use it. I didn't charge for it. So I think it's somewhere between $800 and $1,500. So, but you can use your FSA or HSA. Insurance may cover it depending on what you are going through and the processes that you need. So I think the key with this type of device and product is that you need consistency. You can't use it once and be like, oh, I'm cured. You won't be. And that's okay. It's not supposed to work like that. So which means a daily practice. You need to make sure that you're being monitored by someone on a professional setting to make sure that you're not feeling worse, you're not making yourself sick, like walk you through the process. And I do believe they have a telemedicine. I did see that on their website as I was searching through that. So you might be able to talk to one of their docs right then and there and get the support that you need. And give it time. I would say at least 3 to 4 weeks. And then start reevaluating. Is this working? Is it not working? Do I need to do more sessions? Maybe you need 2 or 3 sessions a day. Maybe you need to increase the intensity. Like, there's a lot of variables in this. So like I talk about, like my new theme is 10% better. Right? So while the alpha stim may not be the cure, and we can't say cure anyways, but you might not be like, oh my gosh, this is the magic thing. You might feel 10% better. You might feel 50% better. So I would strongly just recommend trying it if you have the opportunity to, or if you've been curious about it, or whatever. I think it's a fantastic option. And I am committing to myself and to you that I will continue to use this and report back to you on how I'm feeling. Maybe there's changes, maybe the more consistent I use it, maybe I just need more time, and we'll see how we feel. So the research is there, the proof is there. I think it just depends on, again, that root cause. So if you're having a root cause of an issue within your electrome, man, the alpha stim is going to be the thing that could help you for sure. If it's something else, if it's inflammation or an infection, we might have to go down that road in tandem with the alpha stim. So awesome. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, thoughts, concerns, if you use the alpha stim and you want to share your experience, I would love to hear it. And if I get any other information or see any other cool research about it, I will definitely send it your way. All right, enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and I'll see you soon.